Hey everybody, it's Octo Chris and Octo Kayla back for Friday night video number 8. Octo 8, how about that? It's a celebration night, Kayla. We are going to talk about our old observation. It's old now because there it is, part of it. One of our plants developed Hermy tendencies, characteristics. It's self-seeding itself really, really bad. There were just a few of them. You pick them off, but my God, we'll show you some pictures here. Some of the original ones before I cut the plant down and some that we just took now. I cut this down Wednesday, I think, Tuesday, several days, and it's kind of drooped. But you'll want to watch for this. If you're growing seeds that are from questionable sources like mine, it'll wreck your whole plant. And if it gets bad, it's worth killing the plant, starting over with something else. Where you look is generally as what we're week 4 of flower, so 3-4 flower. That's when they start to show up at the base there of the main stem and the branching stem. Those are where the first ones start to come out, and that's a good place to watch. They're called bananas because they come in like little clusters. They always point down too, so that's another thing to kind of differentiate them from a female flower. If you're new at this, you don't know what you're looking at, it can be really difficult. Sorry, it smells so good. It's such a shame. Once you get the hang of it, look at some pictures, Google hermaphrodite cannabis. If you're questioning it, it'll give you a lot of different options on what it can look like. It's all pretty much the same, but goodbye. So that means we're going to scrap our observation of direct clone to octopot versus solo cup to octopot, because that was plant number 1. We're doing a phenome hunt. These guys are not in the hunt. So what I thought we'd do is, despite the fact that we're done with this, we'd take a quick look at what these plants have done. Now, the first thing that I see is the direct to octopot stem is quite a bit more purple than the one that was in the solo cup. And I'm suspecting that that's because the soil doesn't have as many nutrients as I thought. So it's a little bit sparse in food. I'm just going to slice this open. I don't think that'll have a lot of effect on the depth of the rooting, but it might. And we caught most of that there. So it doesn't look like the roots made it all the way down, actually. They made it, well, yeah, here. So look at this. That looks like it was a root that was turning into a hydroponic root. You can tell because there's no branching there. A little bit up here, and then there's no branching there. I'd bring it up close, but it'll get blurry. But I do think that they had just started getting down there. And look at that, nice root ball. See, the thing about being in the solo cup, the roots are formed, and they don't branch out sideways like this did. So that's one of the advantages of that. All right, go with your mama. I'm going to dump this over here. Got most of it again. And we're going to open up this one. Yeah, the soil fell away from the top quite a bit quicker and easier on this one, because it's only been in this pot for, what was it, a week, 2 weeks, I think. There it goes. And yeah, there's no real rooting down here, down in the bottom. It too has a really nice little root ball. And I think part of the reason that it's not so limited as I was talking about before, is because I got this in real early. If you remember, I talked about trying to get it in the pot as soon as possible. So even though it had rooted, it hadn't formed those hard roots along the side of the solo pot that so often you'll see. All right, well, there's that. I just farted with my mouth. Did you hear that? I'm pooped, man, I'm pooped. So I want to show you this real quick. These are the two plants, the solo cup and the octopot. And the solo cup base is actually a little bit bigger. I don't think they went as deep, but they're definitely bigger. I truly believe that this purple stem is showing me the evidence of why this one is bigger than this one. And it's, there wasn't enough nutrients in this soil. So that was a brand new soil. It's heavy on coco, which I will use as a place to throw a warning out. Coco alone, or coco with perlite, really doesn't work nearly as well as a peat with perlite alone. Peat, coco, perlite, all three together have done the best for me, and the next trial will be with that. I'm not going to reuse this other soil until I learn more about it anyway. Again, I want to say that it's because, part of it is because this one was placed in the octopot right away. We'll show you these pictures. You can see what generally happens in the octopot versus the solo cup, and that's what I would have expected to see more in this if there would have been a better control. So we'll keep working on that. All right. Now here's the bottom of that. Look at this. What a shame, man. Look at those roots. Aren't those crazy? It's like furry. It's like petting a dog or something. Let's see how they look up here. Yeah, you gotta rip them off. So they do swirl around the bottom of the wick a little bit before they pop through. I don't know if we'll be able to ever do anything about that or not. And I don't know if it really causes a problem. It's not like in a hard plastic pot where they just keep going and going and don't have any place to go. These will go and go, but they still go down. And I'm gonna take this off. It's like solid root practically. I'm gonna just bounce it up and down a couple times. Get this out. Kayla, you got a vacuum. No, I'll vacuum. You have to redo it. Look at that. Look at how tight that ball is. It never even got much past half a foot. So, and look at the stem. Look at that. Isn't it wild how it's got such big elbows around the stems there? Anyway, we will be back Tuesday to check the progress on our seedlings. And next Friday, we'll take another look at how the living soil plant is doing. I actually considered just chopping it too, because having one plant in a 1,000-watt light tent is a little overkill, but what else we got to do, right? So we're going to go ahead and keep it growing, and we're going to do the best we can with it. I'm going to give it a little extra nutrients. I'm going to spread it out so it's in the middle of the light, and we'll see what we can get from that one plant, okay? So stay safe, grow in peace.